the next thing we've got here is number 3, the content management. So if you think of what we've done is we've created a solid framework. We built the framework for our website. We've pumped out the site with the braid, i.e. gave it all the extra juice it needs. Now we're in project management ordering our content. So Russell and I spent a lot of time working on the screen to make the screen as granular as possible when it comes to content writing. And what we've done here is we've broken it down into 5 steps. The first step is just assign a team member. So the more team members you add, the more you'll see them. You can see the name, where they belong, what they're doing, project manager, and if they're trusted. In our system, we've got a review, we've got a trial, review, and trusted. There's 3 stages we've got for team members. Trial meaning is they just come on board and you give them a piece of work to do, and you're watching them. If the work's rubbish, you just basically delete them from the system. You don't use them or disable their access. Trial means, review means they've gone through the trial period, you're happy with what they've done, now you're reviewing them to take them on a more serious level. And that's on more work and you watch the outcome of that. And typically if you start finding guys who are coming with excuses, they're not delivering on time, they constantly got something to say, their grand's died or a hurricane blew their house down and all this kind of stuff, what you want to do there is sort of flip them back to trial. You don't want to put too much attention to them because they're slowing you down. When a person comes in, you give them work, they get the job done, and you trust them, then you flip the status to trusted. So the next step is where we define our article type. What do we want written? And over here we've got the different type of rings. Where's the content going? So you've got the primary ring, you've got the social primary ring, you've got the secondary web ring, you've got the secondary social ring, and then you've got web ring 3 over here and the social web ring 3. So you can basically select where it's going. So typically at this stage it's always going to be your primary web ring that you're writing the content for. It'll either be for your website or your blog, depending. Then we give a quality grade, and we give it 5 levels, A to E. A being the best quality, and E being something that's just been spun and knocked out, and you've not paid much attention to it. And typically level E, D, and C would never go into a web ring 1 content. It'll always be A, B, or C. What are the 3? Russ, would you like to have something to say about the PAM premium content, the PAM Lite, and then your general SEO type of articles?
Sure. Sorry about that. I had muted for a second. Generally speaking, the problems that we've had through the years in conceptual learning for our students is the difference between high-quality content and SEO. And we're going to do a specific webinar on this. We've actually had to kind of invent a new kind of writing. And really when you really look at what's happened over the last few years, you have SEO writing, you have journalistic writing, and you have sales copywriting. And all of you who've been online long enough realize that there's been a kind of drift on those types of processes. And so really what you have to do is put them all together. The highest quality of writing that you can do that converts will convert leads while targeting the optimal SEO keywords in it is what we call painkiller article writing. And it really is the way we determine that is how many sentences can we extract from that article that are not only keyword rich but to your industry, but also will get clicks on a Twitter account. In other words, can you extract Twitter sentences from those articles that have a high click-through rate when the article is shredded through the one feed to rule them all system, and you get massive clicks across your web rings, all of them. Okay, so that we call it the highest quality writing because you really do need to do, 4 ways to avoid back pain or these kinds of things. You've got to write an article that really does speak from expertise. So that's the highest quality. And as you go down in quality and start to get into the old methods of spin text and all those things, it's okay to do that once you have a high quality article written. But you don't really want to put those kinds of articles on what Sue calls WR1 sites. So we've actually got an incredibly powerful matching system. That's why we call it network empire. It's a network.